Brisbane Regionals, top 8, let's go. So before we get into today's video, if you guys do enjoy it, please be sure to like and subscribe. We're getting close to 700 subs. It'd be nice to get there by the end of the year. The other thing that you will note is that I actually have no facial hair compared to my normal videos. That is because it is November and I participate in an event called Movember, where you grow a moustache to raise funds for men's mental health and male-related cancers. We recently did a 24-hour stream where we did do a tier list. The link to that is in the description. If you guys want to get on board and help donate towards the fund, link will be in the description for that, but let's get going. So we did have the Fusion World Top 8. This was just not the weekend just gone, the weekend before, and it took me a week to get these lists because normally the TO puts them out at the end of the event, but I think something happened there and it didn't end up happening. So massive shout out to Ricky of the Gamer Realm. Not only he won the event, but he was able to get me pretty much all the lists that I wasn't able to get myself. So I also want to shout out The Gamer Realm because they have gone and sent me a couple of tubs of buffs to give away for Movember. There is currently a giveaway going. I will link it in the description so you guys can go and try and win yourselves a tub of buffs. The other thing is that if you go to the Buffs website or the Gamer Realm website and you use my discount code HAZY at checkout, you guys will get 10% off. So massive shout out to you guys for hooking that up. So moving into the top 8, as we said, the event was won by GIBLET, and when you guys look at this breakdown, you probably wouldn't expect to see this in other regions, but this is something that you kind of expect in Oceania. Over the past, since the game has been out, you will look and there is always a strong representation of green decks, particularly green ramp decks. I believe I'd have to go back and have a look, but I know that the green ramp decks have been around for a long time, and people, even when it's not in the meta, people are still finding ways to get good placings with green ramp decks, particularly Android 17, and now we're seeing it with Piccolo. 4 of the 8 top 8 places were Piccolo, and then a GIBLET being another one. So there was 5 green decks in the top 8, and you could probably argue at the moment the meta is like Cell, Boo, Omega, and then maybe Piccolo. So such a strong representation of Piccolo just shows how popular green ramp decks are in Oceania. But I guess it's probably a relieving sign because everyone is just seeing at the moment so many Boos, so many Cells, and now Sins creeping into the Omega. It's kind of refreshing to see a dominated ladder or dominated top 8 breakdown where it's just not those decks. There is only 1 Sin, 1 Boo, and 1 Cell in that top 8, which is, it's good to see. So we will run through the top 8 deck list. Of course, we do have first place GIBLET, where there is a deck profile on the channel of this. Second place was Piccolo. Third place was Boo. Fourth was another Piccolo. 5th place Omega. 6th Cell. And then rounding out 7th and 8th is another Piccolo. And we will give a honorable mention to, I only say this because I'm a big fan of him. Shout out to JFan, who got 9th place with Omega as well. I only say that because I'm a massive fan of JFan, and it was really cool for me to spend a lot of time throughout the day chatting with him and whatnot. So that was a pretty cool thing for me, so I just wanted to touch on that. So now moving into the top 8 deck list. First place, as I have mentioned, was GIBLET, and I actually ran this deck for the last game on my 24-hour stream, and we actually managed to beat a Cell, which was a really cool feeling. This deck I'd put away because I didn't think I could beat Cell, but apparently there's ways to make this Cell match easier, so maybe I need to have a bit of consideration of this because Nats is around the corner. And if you guys saw my tier list, I don't have Nameku super high. When anyone that knows me by now knows that I was pretty big on wanting to play Nameku for Nats, but in a realistic world, maybe I can't do that, and if I want to play a big aggro deck, maybe GIBLET is the way to go. So definitely going to have to do a bit of research myself. So we will see 4 Raditz, 3 Muri, so you got your 1-drop Awakens. There's so many Self-Awakeners in this deck. There is only 1 3-drop that isn't a Self-Awaker, whereas all your 1s, 2s, and 3s are all Self-Awakeners. So you're definitely never getting stalled. But if you are ever getting stalled, then this GIBLET just rips 2 life on its own, and then you've got your 1 cost. So you can never really get stalled, and I guess you don't really mind if your opponent stalls you because you just have all these bodies to play. We've got the Hit, which is amazing 1 cost removal. We have a Baby for the filter. Like we said, the GIBLET, and it was mentioned in the deck profile, this purely is just in the deck for when you get stalled and you need to rip 2 life. The Piccolo, which is actually apparently worked very, very well. It is 10k and it can remove a 3-drop body. Also synergizes well with your deck because you lose energy and play around the low energy. And then your like 1-2 punch play that you pretty much want to play every turn, unless there's some other stuff that you need to do, whether it be like hold an energy for your Saiyan Board of Fury at Hate or use a Twisted Mortality. You just keep spamming these every turn. You're not losing any hand advantage. You're typically not charging because you're always like finishing the turn at 4 energy unless you've used an instant. So you can generate a lot of hand advantage, and these guys are just like I said in my tier list, decks that can pump tall aggressive bodies are the way to go, and this is what GIBLET does. So we all are also playing 6 double strikes. We were told that this was for Piccolo. So you can slam down 2 double strikes, of course, and if you do, they have to choose which double strike that they redirect with. So if they go to 2 life, you still can kill them like by playing around their leader effect, which is very, very good to see. 4 instant, 2 Saiyan Board of Fury Hate, and 3 Twisted Mortality. So massive shout out again to Ricky for first place. I don't know all these people by name. I know some of them by name, so if I don't refer to you by name, it's just because I haven't spoke to you and whatnot. So as we go into the second place list, and this is Piccolo, I think there is a couple of slight variations in the Piccolo build, but the core that you see is 4 Krillin, 4 Pan, 4 Hercule, 4 Gamma 1, 4 Gamma 2, 4 Gohan, 4 of the 5 cost Gamma, 4 of the SH Gohan, 4 of the Beast Han, and then it literally comes down to, do you want to play another cantrip to pick up off Hercule? So there are, I believe, a couple lists playing the 18, a couple of copies of, and then it's like, how many of these double strikes are you playing? Are you playing 1 Broly heal? Are you playing 2 Broly heal? Are you even playing this double strike? And then just your ratio of this this KO2 cards promo, which is pretty nuts. That can like you die to aggro sometimes, and this sort of like helps you stabilize that little bit. We've got the Earth Destroying Below, which can just like replace itself, or it can just ramp you another card. So there is the Piccolo list. I won't go over them too much because like we said, there is 4 of them. So congratulations on your second place finish. Third place, we have Max Kennedy, and for my money, this guy is probably one of the in-form guys leading into the Nats format. We will have a Masters breakdown, and he did win the last 2 Masters events, coming in 3rd place. I believe he had 3rd place in New Zealand as well, so some really, really good results from Max, just showing why he is like one of the best pilots in the world, because, in Australia. You could probably argue in the world, because he is doing it in 3 different Bandai games, being like very strong representation in One Piece as well. Congratulations to him on his 3rd place list, and this list actually jumped out at me because we are playing this 3-drop Majin Buu. So on play, add 1 card from your life to your hand, then rest 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and then when attacking, if your leader has margin in its special traits, choose up to one rest mode battle card with a cost of 2 or less in your opponent's battle area and KO it. So this is really good. 2 or less? I thought it was 3 or less. I ain't gonna lie. I could have swore it was 3 or less. Maybe I don't know. Maybe, yeah. It must have been 2 or less. But this is just really good for removing the Milgita in the Sin matchup. Because then you don't have to swing at their Milgita to kill it, and then they're like not giving cards to save it. Because the one thing that you do struggle with Sin is if Sin can get wide with a lot of these 20k bodies, they generally do protect them, because you don't play, like, you see there's this Buu that stuns, which you only want to play in like maybe you want to double lock 1 turn. You don't really want to have to be using and swinging with this early and give your opponent a chance to starve you. So there's no like extra card lockdown. So being able to KO your opponent's bodies, Sin specifically for the Milgita, and just keep swinging their face is just a great addition to the deck. Outside of that, we've cut down to 2 of the Kid Buu, mainly because obviously you want to try and fit this in, so there does have to be cuts somewhere. 4 of the Bibbidi, 3 Yamu, 7 Resters. So it's like 7 Resters and 7 Cantrips, where I believe other Buu lists were kind of on the 8 and like, it was like 8 to 10 Cantrips. We're back up to 4 Barbity. The Barbities went out for a while. Barbities come back in, as much as I hate to see it. And then we've got 4 of the Buhan, 4 of the Buff Boo, 2 of the Lockdown Gokus, 4 of the Naruto Boo, which I hope this card gets limited to 1 at some point, and then this Kid Boo that I think should be banned. And of course, we're using a Zarbon Super Combo because max rarity is really cool. So congratulations, Max, on the 3rd place finish. Now, next up, we have another Gamma build and, another Piccolo build. And this one is slightly different. This one's actually running the Android 18. So we're running 3 copies of that one. And this card is really good. Like, it's great to play. So you, like, Beast Han one turn. You play down an Android 18. You play a Hercule. You grab back 2 things. You can either stun, or you can, like, leave some energy open for Meteor. So this just lets you swing another 20k body. It filters a card, and then it draws you a card when it swings. So you can't really go wrong with this card. I actually thought maybe a lot more of the lists would have been running this. I think maybe 2 of these lists are running them. And this one is running the Android 18, which is on play. If you have 6 more energy, you add a green non-Android 18 with cost 3 or less from to your hand. So you can pick up the Krillin if you need to, an extra Krillin pickup. You can pick up the Gamma 2 if you want to, like, do some more digging. I believe it's just, was it just 3? So you can't pick up any of the ramp? Yeah, so you can't really pick up anything else. So I'm guessing it's, like, just to pick up the Gamma 1 and just filter more cards through your hand. So we're playing 2 Piccolo as well. I think some lists are actually not running it. We will see that there is 3 of this Gohan. So the last list was running 4. And then no 7-cost double strike, just 1 of the Broly. So slightly different list there, and we are actually playing 1 of the Roshi. So if you want to just charge your Meteors and then grab it back at any stage, you can. You just need to have 1 Roshi, because Hercule can grab it back. So if you ever need to charge your Meteors, you're easy enough to get them back. Or if you ramp them off of your Gamma, you can just grab it back off the Roshi. So congratulations on your 4th place finish there. Now, 5th place, and this is the one that I'm excited for because it's Sin. I played Sin at the event. Big on Sin myself, and Sin, like, there's just a few tiny little differences between the Sin decks. It's just like, it mainly just comes down to your ratio of your 3-drops, do you play the 4-drop, and then how many of the Power Balls that you play. So we got 4 Black Smoke, 4 Natron, the Mole, he was the MVP during their 24-hour stream. This card is just so good in the deck. Once you learn how to use this card, which I still don't think I have, the deck just kind of nearly feels like it goes to the next level if you can utilize this card very well. We're playing 3 of the Ice and 3 of the Nova. So generally, Nova tends to be the one that you play more of because it hits more relevant targets. Like Boo, for example, you bounce the Buhan, you bounce the Buff Boo. You also bounce the Naruto Boo. If Cell goes into the 1-cost cell, into the 4-cost cell, you can bounce it back to their hand. A lot of lists I'm seeing more of just running maybe 4 Nova and 2 Ice, but this one running 3-3. This one actually running 3 of the SR Nova, and this card is like, I think it's a really, really good card in the mirror, but outside of the mirror, I haven't really seen many instances where I think it gets a lot of value and it warrants maybe a 3rd copy, because you can get a lot more value from 2 Natrons. But a lot of lists you probably see do tend to run it at 2, because my philosophy on this deck is however many cards you run, so in this case you run 3, you essentially are only running 2 because of the way you mill so many cards. I always try and say that you're playing 1 less copy just because of how many times you mill. You've got a very high chance of milling it. 4 of the Sin, 4 of the Omega, 4 Super Combo. That's the only Super Combo for this deck. Whirlwind Spin, such an incredible card. Dragon Thunder, 4 of them. 3 Burst Attack. I think 3 is the number because sometimes you do just need to remove the board. Maybe you have to do it in back-to-back turns in those aggro matches because you do struggle against aggro. I think you don't want to go below 3 of this. And then the Powerball, it just comes down to, like, do you just want that little bit more consistency of seeing the Powerball? Do you want an extra card in the deck for more like consistency on your top 7s and your putbacks? I personally think 2 is the right number because you don't ever need it late game, and you pretty much, like, you're fine to just get it in your drop early game because come the end of the game when you need it, you tend to be able to set your drop up to be able to just draw into it anyway. So that is Sin Shenron. Congratulations on your 5th place finish. Next up, we have my good friend Jacob. Massive shout out to this guy. When I first got into TCGs, Jacob was the first person that I actually bought a case from. And he's done a lot for me and the wife, Mrs. Hazy, in the TCG scene. So it feels really cool to be able to showcase his deck, because anyone that knows Jacob does not play straightforward decks. He always has to add his little spin to decks that you just don't see very often. And as you guys see this list, you will see, like, you don't see this in a lot of sell lists now. So many little one-ofs, so many two-ofs. That's just how Jacob does, and he does extremely well. Like, as you see, he's got 6th place. He's done extremely well with Cell. So we got 8 18s. So we're playing 11 in total, because we're playing 3 of the Self-Awaken and 2 of the Blocker. We're only playing a cheeky little one of the Cell. 2 of the Flappes. I don't know the last time I actually seen a Flappe in a Cell list. So it's just... It just recycles cards. Like, pick up your Cell Juniors if you want to, because he is actually playing Instant Transmission. If he ever wants a Cell Junior, he can just, like, pick it up with Flappe, play a Cell Junior, and then Instant as well, and suddenly he's got a 40k swing for 1 energy, which is pretty nuts when you think about it that way. And he is playing one of the board neg 10ks, and I remember hearing him say it actually won him a game. I can't remember much detail about it, but it works for him. That's like, again, a target to pick up off Flappe if you ever need to neg the board. Like, you think Piccolo, for example, like, Piccolo will just have a turn where he'll just play, like, Hercule, Cantrip, Krillin, and have this big board of cantrips. You just play this, and it's just feels bad for them, and it just, like, completely swings the game. So, very little cheeky one-ofs here, and they worked for him. And we do see the Kamehameha, which I like this. I always like the last time we did a breakdown, I like this. Because in the mirror, if they don't, like, respect this, and you have an energy floating, you can kind of, like, remove their 18 after they've, like, swung with their 4-cost cell. So you get out of the attack, and then they can't chain that turn. And it also doesn't proc their leader because it doesn't remove it with a skill. It just minuses it 0, so it leaves the battle area. So your leader doesn't get the auto to get 20k and draw a card. And then we do see one of the Big Daddy cells. It is very rare that we see the Big Daddy cell now, but he can still be pretty good. Like, just a big, like, neg 2 things 20k, swing, and then KO something 10k. Pair it with some Cell Juniors and all that stuff. So it can all do work. And massive congratulations to you, Jacob, on your 6th place finish. And now 7th, we have Isaac, and Isaac is from Mint Collectibles. So if you guys are in and around the Brisbane area, I highly recommend you go and check out Mint Collectibles. I would love to get out to Mint Collectibles a lot more to play locals, because in my opinion, it's probably the strongest locals going around in Southeast Queensland when it comes to Fusion World. So I always like playing against the best players, and the lads that play there, they've had some really strong finishes this year. So if you guys do want to go and check them out, I would highly recommend it. This list is actually playing 54, so a little bit higher on the count, and just a few little more different ratios of things with a couple of different cards. So we've got 3 Bomber, 2 of the Chilai. So this to me makes a little bit of sense, because it can protect your Beast Han mainly. That's probably the main target it protects against the likes of Zeno. And it makes Cell have to minus something else before they can get to your Beast Han and kill it. So I think Chile makes sense as a cheeky little 2-of, just to protect your big tall bodies. We see 1 Cell Junior to, of course, grab back any of these extra cards. And when we're playing unlockability, you can be a bit more greedy and go down to 1, because, like, you can Beast Han into unlock and go back to 3 life. And then the next turn, if you want to, you can just take 2 more damage. And I don't believe... No, you wouldn't be able to do it on back-to-back turns unless you didn't play another Beast Han. But the option is always there. You can pick it up with Cell Junior to heal 2 life. You can pick up another Earth-Destroying Blow. And you can pick up a Meteor. So Cell Junior in this deck is not bad. We do see 2 Broly and 1 of the Goku double strikes. 2 of the Gohan promo, And then pretty much the core is all the same. This one playing 2 of the Piccolo as well. So big shout out to Isaac and congratulations. And finally, we have a Piccolo rounding out the top 8. And we also see this deck. This one is also running the unlock ability. This one is also running the 5-cost Piccolo. So on play, you ramp a card, and then when it's KO'd, you add a 5 or less back to your hand. So you can like redirect an attack to it, and if it dies, you just grab back a piece that you need, whether it be like the Gemmas, a 10k, the Gemma to filter, or you can is it 5 costs? You can add itself back if you want to, and then just play and ramp again. So I don't think this is a bad Piccolo, but I haven't seen many lists running it, so I mean, at the end of the day, it did work, so I can't really say that it's a bad choice. No Earth-Destroying Blow, just 2 Meteor, and no Cell Juniors, so 2 Meteor, just obviously just leaving 1 up, and you get your 25k for 1 energy. So this one as well, running the Android 18s, as we see, and Chi-Li. So this one, pretty much a little bit more similar to the 7th place list, but playing the Android 18 like the 4th place list did. So that will be the end of the video, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please be sure to like and subscribe. Congratulations to everyone on your top 8. Look forward to seeing you all at Nats.